Hello, everyone, and welcome to Outstanding English. My name is Todd Elpervitz. In this lesson, we'll be exploring some useful vocabulary and going over two dialogues about visiting a post office. This lesson will be a little briefer, a little shorter than the previous lesson. I don't have as much things to go over for this lesson. So if you have any questions at all during the lesson, feel free to leave them as a comment in the chat box. And if you have a question and you're watching the replay, feel free to leave a question as a comment while you're watching this video. So first of all here, I'm going to go over this really quickly. We have a post office, which is run by governments, and we have delivery companies, which are private companies or corporations that also ship items. So here we have the logo for the United States Postal Service. And we have the logos for the delivery companies. We could call them delivery companies or shipping companies or courier services or courier companies. We have the logos for Black Cat, which is a popular delivery company in Japan and Taiwan. They have a cute little logo. And we have the FedEx logo, the UPS logo, and the DHL logos here. Perhaps you've needed to use their services before. And anyone who works at a post office, we can call them a postal worker. Doesn't matter if they are the delivery person or if they are working behind a counter or if they're in a back room sorting mail. We can call all those people who work for a post office a postal worker. And next up, I want to clarify these two items. We have a letter, which is something that goes in an envelope. And we have a postcard, which is flat and a bit thicker paper, and there's usually a picture on one side, and on the reverse or the other side is a place to write the address, put a stamp, and put a little note. I have a little postcard here. This is from my son. It's a postcard from Panama. He went to a competition there, and he sent me this postcard of a harpy eagle. This is really nice. I like this one. So here we go, down below. Just a little clarification for some vocabulary here. This item in this picture is called a package in American English, and it is a parcel in British English. So sometimes, because I've been living overseas for a long time, I might slip and say parcel now and then, but could call it a package or a parcel. But if you're in America, you're more likely to hear the word package. And if you're in the UK, I'm sure you'll hear parcel a whole lot more than that, more often. So, hey, welcome there. Welcome there. Good to see you. Thank you for joining the class today. And my next one over here, these are stamps right here. We're going to put them on the letter or several on a package to send a package. And the postage is the amount you pay to send a letter or a package. So you could say, what's the postage? And we can call these postage stamps. So here I took a small collection of stamps. I have two stamps here from India, and you can see closely the postage on these stamps are 5 rupees each. Looks like one are lychees and one is some kind of tomato I'm unfamiliar with. We have 2 postage stamps from Taiwan. One is for 6 NT dollars. One, the postage is 13 NT dollars. We got 2 dragons here. And we have some forever stamps on the right. We have 2 domestic forever stamps. Those are right now 66 cents. And 1 global or international forever stamp, which is $1.50. So the thing with forever stamps is that sometimes the price of sending a letter in the US goes up. However, if you buy a forever stamp at one price, if they raise the price to send a first class letter, then you can still use that old forever stamp to still send that letter and not have to get additional stamps to add to the letter or to the envelope. So those are stamps right here, some very pretty ones. Some people enjoy collecting stamps. And sometimes you can find what's called a commemorative stamp, which may be a stamp with the picture of somebody famous or a stamp for a special event. Next up on a letter, here are some important terms about what goes on an envelope. The address on the upper left-hand corner would be the return address. We could also call this the sender. And we have the delivery address kind of in the middle at the bottom. or we could call this the recipient. So we have return address or sender and delivery address or recipient. So here we see the sender is Teacher Todd at Hammer Falls, Michigan, 45555. Wait, 45555. That would be the zip code. And then it's going to Santa Claus at 123 Elf Road, North Pole, 88888. All right, there we go. And that's a made up city, Hammer Falls. It's something from a comic book. So if you know the name of that comic book, let me know. And there are also sometimes special codes that you can put as your recipients. So here we see ATTN followed by a colon. That is short for attention. So here I'm sending a letter to Stark Industries, and it's a big company, but I wanted to go to someone named Maria Hill. So I write the name of the company on top and attention Maria Hill below that, because big companies or other organizations, they usually have a mail room, and any mail that comes in gets sorted out to the different people. And I want to make sure it goes to the correct person. So I can say attention followed by somebody's name to make sure that they get it. And then on the right, I have another letter here. And this one is addressed to Gwen Stacy. And we have CO, which is care of Aunt May. So Aunt May lives at 69th Road, Forest Hills, Queens, New York. And Gwen Stacy is just staying there, maybe for like a month. So because she doesn't actually live there, I'll write Gwen's name on the top and care of and the person that lives there. So that CO is care of and ATTN is attention. And then over here, we've seen this special word before. If you came for the, what was that? The airport vocabulary lesson. It's a self-serve kiosk. So post office have these too. It's a place where you can buy stamps or weigh your item to find out how much you need to pay to ship a letter or a small package. You can see it's kind of small. You can't put a huge box on top. You'll probably need to go to a counter and speak to a postal worker about sending anything large. I made a mistake once. I was visiting the US and I wanted to send a lot of postcards to my students who are mostly based in Taiwan and China. And so I went to a self-serve kiosk thinking I could just buy stamps. And I could buy stamps, but instead of getting the cute little global forever stamps, I just got a little printout with a QR code to stick to my postcard. So I was a little disappointed in that because I think I ordered 15 of them and they all printed out one by one. And I really wanted to make sure my students had both a postcard and a stamp from the US, but instead they got a postcard with my little note to them and a printed out QR code postage stamp. So I was a little disappointed when I learned that. So if you want to get actual stamps, go into the post office and talk to a human, talk to a postal worker and get the stamps you want. And then my next special terms here. So if you are sending a letter in the US, they use the term first class mail. That sounds really great, but it's actually kind of the standard mail for regular letters. And then priority mail or priority express mail, which is a faster service. So if you look at this picture, we got the first class mail has little speed zoomy lines, and the priority mail has the faster zoomy lines. It's going to get to that mailbox a little quicker. And different countries have their own terms for each of these for how fast something is going to get somewhere. So you may have air mail versus ground or sea for talking about how fast a letter or a package is going to reach its destination. But these are the two most common ones at the US Postal Service is first class mail and priority mail. And then if you buy something online, chances are it's going to have a shipping label on it. A shipping label looks just like this. It has the sender, the recipient, and a barcode and a QR code, which they use. for getting the item to you. You can also print your own shipping labels, but I think you need special paper for your printer to do this. And if you use a self-serve kiosk and you're sending somewhere, maybe it prints a shipping label for you. I'm not too sure about that. Next person who uses a self-serve kiosk, please leave a comment later telling me if it prints out a shipping label for you when you use a self-serve kiosk for sending a package. And next up, a special term to know is tracking. So tracking is knowing where your package or letter is. So you know if it has reached its destination, which is where it is going. And if it hasn't reached it yet, where is it along the way? So when you send a letter and you ask for tracking, you spend a little extra for that. They'll give you a tracking number, and you can put in that number on the website and find out if your item has reached its destination or where it is currently. So that's tracking. And then here we go. I got a little creative with this picture. This is shipping insurance, and shipping insurance is an option you have when you're sending a package. And what shipping insurance is that if something happens to a package, well, first you pay a little money for shipping insurance. And if something happens to your package along the way, then you will be given money back for how much the items in the package were worth. So in this case, this person sent a package and oh no, an alligator somehow got a hold of the package and started eating it. And she's not worried. Look, she's relieved. Ah, my money's not flying away. I bought shipping insurance. So she is going to be reimbursed or paid back for the value of the item or items that were in this package. That is shipping insurance right there. And then this right here is a customs declaration. We can also call it a customs form or a customs declaration form. And this is what you need to fill out when you ship an item internationally or overseas. So on a customs declaration, you need to list the items that are in the package. You need to list how many they are and what the value of those items are. And it's very important to get the information as accurate as you can on this, so that if they do open it for some reason, they find out that the items on the customs declaration match the items that are actually in the package. So you don't get charged with any fines or anything like that. And here I have two items. I have certified mail. So you'll be asked if you would like to send a certified letter or if you would like it certified. And what that means is that when the receiver gets the letter, that they sign their name saying that they have received it. And registered mail is like certified mail, but it's usually used for very valuable items or items that can't be replaced. And there's a lot more security involved, and they make sure that it reaches the appropriate recipient and that it is handled appropriately. So if you're sending something really, really valuable, you'll probably use registered mail versus just certified mail. And then also, if you are sending something very, very important and you need to know that that person received that item, then you can ask for a return receipt. So what a return receipt is once the person gets the item or the letter, they fill out this return receipt and it is sent back to you. And this is important if you are sending someone maybe legal documents where you may need to prove in a court of law that they actually received this item. This is probably the best proof you can give to a judge in a court of law that an item was sent and that particular person received it. So they couldn't turn around and say that they didn't receive something or that maybe a roommate signed for it, because in this case, it is getting only that person's signature. So you can verify in a court of law, if you need to, that that person received the item. That's called a return receipt. Return receipt. Yeah, that's right. Return receipt. Did I misspell it here? I may have. I was in a rush making that. Okay, return receipt. Oh, I see. It's a little emoji there. Now I see it. Okay, there it is. Yeah, return receipt. I got to get my eyes checked. I couldn't see the emoji at first. Thank you. Yeah. And then over here, we have a P.O. box. And P.O. box stands for post office box. And this is a mailbox at the post office that you can rent. And some people use a P.O. box if they move around frequently, or if maybe you run a business from home and you don't want to give out your address, your personal address, because it's a home business, then you can rent a P.O. box at the post office, and you can sign up for services for the post office to notify you if something comes in the mail and it's sitting in the P.O. box. So this is useful, like I said, if you're running a home business or you need to register your business and you don't want to use your home address because then it's all public information, you can choose to rent a P.O. box. And I'm sure they're not very expensive. But you may need to do that if you are getting a business off the ground and you're still running it from home, or you plan to run it from home for a long time. I know with the payment service platform I use for some of my private students, it's registered to my home address. So when a student pays me, they actually see my home address. But if I had a PO box, then they wouldn't know my home address. But I'm not too worried about any of my students coming by and causing any troubles yet. So like I said, it's going to be a little short one today. This is our first of two dialogues, and this is about sending a package overseas. Pay close attention because I will have some check for understanding questions at the end of this one. So we have two people. We have a customer and a postal worker. All right, and it says here, "Excuse me, I'd like to send this package overseas." "Of course. Where are you shipping to?" "It's going to my friend in Australia." "Great. Could you please fill out this customs declaration form? It's needed for international shipping." "Sure, no problem. Here you go." "Thank you. Now let me weigh the package to determine the postage. It's £4. For Australia, you have two options: First Class International, which is the least expensive and will take 2 to 3 weeks, and Priority Express shipping, which will reach Australia in 3 to 5 days. How much does Priority Express shipping cost?" The postage for Priority Express shipping to Australia is $99.65. "Wow, I think I'll take the cheaper option. How much is that?" "That option comes to $62.90. That's much more reasonable. Can I pay by credit card?" "Certainly. Here's a tracking number that you can use to check its delivery status online. Is there anything else I can help you with?" "No, that's all. Thanks for your assistance." So we got quite a few questions here. They are, where is the customer planning to send the package? What form does the postal worker ask the customer to fill out for international shipping? How much does the package weigh? Which shipping option does the customer choose and how much does it cost? What payment method does the customer use to pay for the shipping? And how long how long is the estimated delivery time for the package to reach Australia? So if you missed a couple of those questions, that's okay. After the lesson, just rewind and watch that section again. And our next dialogue is all about buying stamps. We have a forever stamp on the left and a global forever stamp on the right. We got the American flag one, the domestic global stamp, and the poinsettia on the right. Is that your right or my right? I'm not too sure. For the international shipping. So this says, "Hi, I'd like to buy some stamps, but I'm not sure which ones to get. I need to send a bunch of Christmas cards." For letters, you can use forever stamps, which cover the cost of mailing a 1 ounce letter, regardless of future price changes. They are 66 cents each for domestic mail. For sending letters internationally, each forever stamp is $1.50. That sounds convenient. I'll take 20 regular forever stamps and 7 international ones. Is there anything else I can help you with today? No, that'll be all. Your total is $23.70. How would you like to pay today? Cash. Sorry, all I have is a 50. No problem. Here's your change. 26.30. Thank you so much for your help. You're welcome. Have a wonderful day. So we got a few check for understanding questions here. It says, what does the customer need the stamps for? How much does each forever stamp cost for domestic mail? How much does each forever stamp cost for international mail? How many regular forever stamps does the customer buy? How many international forever stamps does the customer buy? What is the total cost of the stamps the customer purchases? And how does the customer choose to pay for the stamps? So if you got those all, great. And if you missed a couple, just rewatch and find those answers, please. The P is silent. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let me answer this first. The P is silent in stamps. Let me listen. Stamps. Maybe you can hear it just a little when I say it. Stamps. Stamps. Sometimes I've been saying it, sometimes I haven't I? Stamps. I think when I go quickly, I drop the P. However, when I'm reading slowly, I say the P. Good question there. Stamps. Yeah, I think you hear it, right? I think you hear it just a little on that when I go slowly. And I did make a message on the community post tab, which said way back down that we would have a live lesson on December 22nd. Something came up. I won't be holding that live lesson. That was going to all be about winter idioms, and it was going to be a longer version of that video over there I already made. So if you were really looking forward to the winter idioms live stream, check out that video right there, because most of the idioms I was going to cover is right in that video there. So you are free to make your own example sentences using those idioms, and I'll check them. And then our next live stream will be December 29th. We will have a New Year's celebrations and resolutions live stream, all about how New Year's is celebrated and about resolutions people frequently make at New Year's. So I hope everyone is able to join me for that. And thank you all for coming to this one. If you celebrate Christmas, because I won't see you beforehand, have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. And if you don't, have a wonderful holiday season. And I will see you all in the future.